So, you want to concentrate on here and here. Okay. This is how you deliver your knowledge. When use this one too. Okay, sideways toward. As how to navigate. Then when you speak with the student and want to have feedback, up here, see here, see their chats, responding to your questions and everything. That's simply what it is. You are not going to write anything now, but in case you want to annotate what you are doing, you turn on this laser pointer and see this is what I'm saying on this and that. Do you understand? So, but in case you want to, I don't think you will write. You turn on the pen. I don't need to write anything. I say, maybe somewhere here. I say, I'm trying to explain this. This is exactly this. Eh? And when you finish, you tap this one, you can just click erase it. So that's exactly what you do for you to. Any question?
Concerning the attendance, which is actually
you
send the code to you.
And when you send this within the first 15 minutes, you will tell the student, yeah, let's take down the first attendance code for today. So they will note it.
I'll give them the code.
You give them the code, or you will call it for them, and they know what. Have you seen the student interface? So the students have where they receive the interface, where they fill in the attendance, where they receive the lecture. So, but they won't be able to submit because you have to wait for the second and the third. So if she gives you, the she says she's coming. Okay, maybe you take the first two and the first two codes. Because if you give them all the codes and everything, you may just discover that after taking the third code, because after the third code, they can now submit. Some of them will run away after they have taken the next code. And so you just give either one or maybe two, say, so that the other person will have one attendance code for each of them. Any other question? So it was a very simple things. So, but nothing concerns you with it's only this and this. When she comes, she will concentrate on her words. 6 minutes. I just want to take my go away. Yeah. Let me check with her. I started. I'm just done. So, the wings of this teaching. Okay, that's where you see them. You see them at the top of this goes the smoke will also have them from every super. Okay. Small.
Okay. It's not back.
Yeah.
So, good afternoon, students. Welcome to today's class. So let's dive into today's topic, which is computer viruses. When you look at the screen, you can see an image there showcasing different kind of model of text and images. So let's go through digital devices. Computers, our mobile phones, iPads, our desktops are major that we use in our day-to-day activities that support our education, such as e-learning, making research, businesses, healthcare, governance, and also to tools that we use for communicating between one another. These devices poses a major benefit to the development of mankind and our environment at large. However, these devices also poses a lot of risk, which reflects such as computer viruses, abuse, and misuse of computers. So as these gadgets assist us in carrying out our day-to-day activities, same also these devices poses a lot of risk. And one of the risks is the computer virus. So in today's class, we are going to look at what computer virus is, how the types of virus, then what are the ethical situations that we need to put in place in making our computer safe from attacks and viruses. So let's look at the following terms before we move to the virus itself. Digital security risk. From the word digital, it means our devices. Then the security and the risk there is talking about what you and I need to be aware of while we use our digital devices. Digital security risk is any action or event that could result in the loss or damage of hardware, software, data, information of a computer or a mobile device. So any action that could cause or result in the loss or damage of hardware, that is the physical part that we can see, we can touch, any event that can cause damage to the software, to data or information are regarded as digital security risk. Then another term is any illegal act involving the use of a computer system or other digital devices is generally termed as a computer crime. So when an individual or a user is using the computer illegally, we term this as a computer crime. The third term, a cybercrime is an online or internet-based illegal act. So when we talk about cybercrime, it means what? Cyber means the digital space, the online, the internet. When an individual is performing an illegal act on the internet, we categorize this as a cyber crime. So all these three terms, cyber crime, computer crime, and digital security risk, leads us to today's theme that says computer virus. Now let's begin with the origin of computer viruses. Computer virus originated from theoretical studies on self-replicating programs. Talking about virus, it means a program or a software that replicates itself on our digital devices. Just as we say a woman that gave birth, firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn in the family. Same thing virus do. It replicates itself and destroy files on our computer system. So let's look at the origin. In the year 1949, John von Neumann proposed a self-replicating automata. In the year 1970s, that comes with the era of early experimental self-replicating programs appeared in research. In the year 1983, Fred Cullen formally defined the concept of a computer virus. While in the year 1986, the first widely recognized virus called Brain was created to protect software from piracy. So viruses have evolved rapidly due to global internet connectivity and increased software use. Now let's now define what a virus is. Virus can be described as a potentially damaging computer program that affects or infects a computer negatively by altering the way the computer works without the user's knowledge or permission. In another way, you can say viruses are malicious software that replicates itself, infecting files and spreading all over the computer system. Let's think of it like a digital flu. We all know when we were in an era of flu, or let's say digital COVID-19, that messes with people's data, steals information, and wreck the whole system. So I use digital COVID-19 as an example. We know in the year 2020, we encountered with COVID-19 that wrecked all communication, that disrupts people's work, businesses, education, health through all over the world. Same also what virus does. Virus is itself, it replicates itself, then disrupts all major parts, files in so, that's going to begin. That's going to begin.
What's going on to me now?
then spread it across. As we have a programmer system analyst, also we have what virus program in order to attack people's gadgets and computers. Now, virus is not visible since it affects the programming of a device. However, certain signs can help you identify a virus infected device. So this is not what you can see, but you can, through signs, they can know this my system or my gadget is what is being virus affected. Now, what are the signs that we can use to detect that my device or your device is virus infected? Well, we have one of the signs is that what the system speed. The system takes longer time to open. When you are trying to open any app on your device, it takes a long time to open, and the system itself slows down. So once the efficiency of your system speed reduces, then such system may be infected by virus. Second sign is pop-up windows. That is, there will be frequent and excessive pop-ups appearing on your desktop. You see different pop-ups coming up, appearing on your desktop. This is a one of signs that the computer system has been virus infected. Number three sign is that self-execution. That is, programs or files open themselves in the background. That is, when you're working on your system, you see that what files will be opening on their own. And just say that, I did not open PowerPoint. Now, why is it opening on its own? I did not click on my MS Word. I'm only watching movie. Just that different programs and files we open themselves in the background. This can be a sign of computer virus on that device. We also have account logouts. That is increased risk of accounts getting hacked, causing automatic logouts. Then device crashes. The device will crash and stop working if the virus spread widely. So these are the sum of the signs that we may encounter when our system or our computer system is infected with a virus. So, Adebayo Festus, are you there? Please, if you are there, speak and let me hear you.
No.
Okay. Okay. Festus Adebayo. Onifade Precious. Okay, please, can you hear me now? Someone is saying you can't hear you. Can you hear me now? Okay, let's continue. Now, going through the principles of operation, we have four major principles by which virus operates on our device. So when a device is virus infected, then we have four principles by which the virus operates on our digital devices. The first principle is what? Is the dormant phase. From the word dormant, it means the system will remain inactive. The system remains inactive until it is triggered. So this is the first principle operation of a virus on our devices. The second principle is what is a second phase. Talked about propagation phase. This phase is when the virus now replicates itself. From the word propagation, the virus copies itself to other files or the systems. At this stage, the virus now begin to multiply, copy themselves to attack the files you have on the system. The first phase is that what? The virus remain in a dormant phase. They remain inactive. The second stage is they now begin to work. They begin to multiply and replicate themselves to attack other files in the computer system. The third phase is the triggering phase. That is here. This virus activates by a specific event or condition. It is based on the programmer. And the last phase is the execution phase. It is when the virus will not perform its malicious function. So these are the four phases by which virus operates on a digital device. Again, the first phase is the dormant phase, where this virus remains inactive. The second phase is when the virus begins to copy itself to infect files. The third phase is when the virus is activated by a condition. And the last phase is what? When the virus itself begins to perform malicious function that will cause damage to our computer devices. And this stage is called the execution stage. So what are the key features of a computer virus? The first one is self-replication. That is, virus will multiply itself and take charge of the old components and files of the computer system. They begin to give birth, to multiply, they replicate themselves, and take charge of the old files, causing harm and damage to our computer system. That's one of the features. Another one is concealment. Concealment, that is, the virus, they eat themselves. Concealment, that is, the virus, they hide themselves in the computer system. Third feature is that destructive behavior. Then they begin to disrupt or they destroy our computer files, the hard disk, and the operating system. So they can destroy or they disrupt the activities of our files, hard disk drive, and the computer operating system. And the last one is what? The dependence of a host program. So virus does not work on their own. There must be a program that will controls the activity of every virus. So these are the 4 characteristics of a computer virus. 1, they self-replicate. 2, they conceal themselves. 3, they are destructive or disruptive behavior. And last one, their dependence on a host program. Now, how do we identify computer viruses? How do we identify computer viruses? You can see on the screen, we have a lot of signs that shows that this device has been attacked or infected by computer virus. It's a common question of human minds. How do we know or identify that a computer virus has entered into their system? So these are the common signs which give an alert to the users that a virus has entered the system. And these are the signs. The first one is what is the slow speed. It is your device efficiency will reduce drastically. You have low speed, we have pop-up windows, different apps will continue to pop up as you use your computer system. We have program self-executing, that is different files opening themselves. Sometimes when my phone, my digital phone, when virus took over, I'll just be going on my own. I see that my phone is dialing people's number, calling people, and they are wasting my credit without me knowing that my phone is even self-dialing people's number. So these are what we call programs self-executing. And we also have what missing files or programs. Some files will be missing on your device. These are signs of computer viruses. Accounts being logged out, total crashing of the device, mass emails being sent from your email account, changes to your home page, disabled security software. So these are the various signs that we identify when there is virus in our digital devices. So once you encounter all these signs, that means what? That device has been infected by virus. Then you need to take a proactive step in order for the virus not to disrupt and destroy the total functionality of your device. Okay, thank you. I can see your response. Now let's go through the types that we have. Types of computer virus. Types of computer virus. Different types of computer viruses can infect computer system. So we look at the different types that we have. Now we have the boot sector virus. We have the resident virus. We have the multi-parted virus. We have the direct action virus. We have the browser hijacker virus. We have overwrite virus. We have web scripting virus, we have file infector, and we have network virus. We still have more, but on your own, you can research more and expatiate your knowledge on the types that we have. So let's take look at some of them. The boot sector virus. This virus infects the partition table of a computer hard drive. That is, this virus affects the hard drive of your device, then causing delay in load all the applications and file. So virus will attack delay. All right. So we have discussed the types that we have. Now moving ahead, let's move to the remedies and prevention of computer viruses. So as beautiful and as beneficial our devices are to us, same also they come with what? With risk. So what are the ways that can prevent us free? The most suitable way of making our devices virus free is by installing an antivirus software. So once you have this software on your system, then you guarantee that your system will be free from virus. Not free, but this software will mitigate against any form of virus that might befall your device. This software helps in removing the viruses from the device and can be installed in a computer via two means, either by online download or by buying an antivirus software and install it. So the major way by which we can make our device to be virus free is by installing an antivirus software. And this can be gotten either through online or through the purchase of this software and we install it. Now, what is this antivirus? An antivirus software is a software which comprises program or set of programs which can detect and remove all the harmful malicious software from your device. So in one word, antivirus also is a software that is designed to detect and remove. We use one word then. We use freeze. That will freeze all forms of harmful viruses on our devices. This antivirus program helps in protecting a computer against viruses by identifying and removing them that are found in the memory, on the storage media, or in an incoming files. This antivirus software is designed in a manner that can search through the files in a computer and determine the files which are heavy or that are infected by a virus. So antivirus are designed as a software that are used to scan through all the files in your computer system. Once you got it and you install it, then you can scan through your devices. We have what we call a quick scan and a full scan. So if you want to scan your device with antivirus, you can use a quick scan. That quick scan can we scan through maybe some files, but the full scan we scan through every programs, all the files in your system, and make sure that uh, all. Can you hear me now? Please type. Let me hear you. Can you hear me now? Please type and let me see. Michael Awoyi, can you hear me now, please? Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you. So that's the function of antivirus. They are software that are designed to scan through our computer systems, then capture and freeze, destroying every form of virus in that computer device. Now we have different types or different examples of antivirus software. You can see on the screen, we have the images on the screen. We have the Norton antivirus. We have the F-Secure antivirus. We have the Kaspersky antivirus. We have the Avast antivirus. We have the Komodo antivirus. We have also the McAfee antivirus. So these are different types that we have of antivirus. We have more of them, but for this class, we will only talk on these few examples of antivirus that can be used to freeze, to detect, and to remove viruses from our digital device. Now, what are the preventive measures that you need to put in place if you want your system to be virus free? We have some measures that you have to put in place to ensure that, sure, definitely this system is out of virus. The first one is you have to install and update an antivirus software. So once you install this software, your work is not you still continue to update as long as that software is asking for update, because this update is just is giving your software a strength over the latest virus in time. in time. So if you fail to keep your antivirus updated, that means what? Your system is prone to what? To be virus infected. So you have to keep your antivirus updated, then keep your OS and other files, apps, also keep them updated. Then avoid opening any suspicious links or attachments. You know, we students, we love free things. You're online, you see, click on this link to earn $5 to earn $10. We quickly rush to that link and we input our details. This open our system to what? To contact virus. So you must avoid from clicking or opening any suspicious links or attachments. Always download software from trusted sources only. Download software from trusted sources only. Use firewall and also regularly back up important data. This make sure all your files, your data on your device are backed up, because anything can happen to your device. So, but if you have a backup, then you can pick it up from there and you forge ahead. So these are some preventive measures that you need to put in place if you want to overcome computer virus from infecting our device. So what are the virus? How do we remove virus from our system? Virus removal methods. Says one, use antivirus scanning. And remover two, boot restore system from backup if necessary. Remove virus from our computer devices. So we have looked at the first harmful way in which our devices as the computer virus. Now, second part is the computer abuse. On the word abuse, it means what? Elect doing something. So for their computer system, harmful or unauthorized use of a computer or network, ranging from unethical acts like spamming to serious crimes like hacking, distributing malware to damage systems or to steal data, essentially causing loss to individuals, networks, and organizations. So talking about computer abuse, it's only talking about the improper use of computer system. Some people, what they do is what they spam, sending unsolicited emails to people, hacking, trying to lure people into harmful use of the system, distributing malware, that is sending viruses, trojans to damage people's gadgets and also to steal data. I think this comes with the era of what the Yahoo boys, that they are using the system in an illegal way. So some common examples of computer abuse, we have the malware, that is sending viruses onto system. We have the hacking, is getting into the system without the permission. We have phishing, making users to reveal their information, which can be password or credit card numbers, through fake communication. Then we have piracy, that is illegal copying of software, music, movies. We have plagiarism, is stealing someone's else idea, someone's write-up or software code. Then we have spam, piracy invasion, denial of service. These are some common examples of the way we abuse the computer system. Now, going to computer misuse. So this refers to any unauthorized use or action involving computer systems, network, software, or data that are illegal activities like hacking, spreading virus, and the likes on computer system. So what are the key aspects of computer misuse? We have unauthorized access, people without permission using your device, malware disruption, data tampering, that is people deleting, altering, or changing values of data in your device, disrupting operation, then intent to commit further crimes. So on your own, you have to list between computer abuse and misuse. This should be assignment to you. So before we end the class, let's look at the disadvantages of computer use. One, we have health-related problems. This prolonged use of computer can lead to eye strain, headaches, bad security, and privacy risk. Computers are vulnerable to viruses, hacking, data breaches, which can lead to loss of sensitive information. We have social and psychological issues, economic and employment challenges, and over dependence on technology. So these are the disadvantages of computer use. And what are the ethical implications of computer use? Privacy, accuracy and integrity, access and equity, and you have to be accountable for whatever action you take place in digital environment. So what are the safe and responsible computing practices? To address all these challenges, you must ensure you use a strong password, encryption, and antivirus software to protect your systems and data. Respect privacy and secrecy by accessing only authorized information. Which is that? Maintain healthy computing habits, including regular breaks and proper ergonomics. And lastly, you keep system updated and back up important data regularly. So these are the safe ways for we to be able to ensure we guide against the computer misuse and computer abuse. So with this, I've come to the end of the first section of today's class. So thank you and have a nice day. And
Good afternoon, class. My name is Dr. Shola Ankaya, and I'm here for the last class in CSC 221. I want to thank all of us so far in the course and the semester, and equally thank you for the test. At least to an extent, I didn't receive any unfavorable feedback and all that. So, but before I move forward, if you still feel you have your manuals with you, please try and get across to me. I announced a name on the platform like 2 weeks ago, and I'm yet to see the candidate because the candidate attempts any of the question in the manual. The candidate just submitted the manual as fresh as he bought the manual. So I'm going to take the last class now on database management system, as well as on computer graphics. And that is the final outline we have for CSE 221 class. So before, we have in computing, we usually use a file system and not database. It was that file system that emerges to what a database is today. So a practical example is when we download our course form, you want to sign from your path advisor, you go to path advisor, you queue for some hours, sometimes for a whole day, and you have your file with you. Just normally, that is how a file system is, and you are carrying your files here and there. Now, with that file that you are processing yourself, you have redundancy, you have delay in processing, a lot of issue, inconsistency. For example, if you are Ayomide Oluwani, in your faculty, you may have only Oluwani and all that. There may be mixture of things, and you may have inconsistency in the way your information is being stored. And all these problems, redundancy, all that, gave room or emerges into what a database is. So on this slide 4, I have an example of what a computer has been through before we are where we are today. We can see the data entry person trying to hold a paper and entering some information into the system. Then we go to the next stage, which has you have a computer as big as you are having a sewing machine. Then see the third diagram, having a lot of people setting up like a typewriter, and the last person using a sorting machine. See how big that sorting machine is to do the work that a computer system can actually handle within a twinkle of an eye. So we could see that those machines are very, very large. It's not easy for somebody to carry, unlike today that you can even hold a computer that is as small as your phone, or that is as small as your something like a laptop that can even enter our handbag. I mean, for the females. So there are issues in file systems, and I told us one of it is data redundancy, data inconsistency. You store your data at your path advisor as a female. When you get to the faculty, you see yourself as a male as well. Maybe in the place of entering your information or whatever, there might have been a mix-up. Then also difficulty in data access. You want to access your data, you have to go and queue until when your path advisor is in the office. You won't have access to your vital information. Unauthorized access, some people can just pick up your file even though they were looking for their own and say, okay, let me quickly check through this one, and in the process one of your very vital information can drop, and so far you are not there, they just misplace it or mishandle your information. So all these problems gathered together gave us the reason why we have to have what is called a database. So what is a data? Everybody knows what a data is. It's just an unorganized fact which you compile to have a meaningful information. And when you are yet to process a data, you have a data. But as soon as you have applied some applications on that data, then it gives you what an information is. So information is referred to as processed data. Then from data, we go to database. For example, now I'm holding my phone. Then I can now say my pulse will be like a base. So I drop my phone, which is the data, inside a database. So that is just what a database is all about. You are storing your data in a particular storage. Until that storage is safe for your data to be input, or that storage is protected against unauthorized user and all that. So a database is collection of interrelated data that helps in efficient retrieval, insertion, and deletion of data. So, and we have examples, so many examples. We have our Oracle, we have our SQL, MySQL, and all that. Then we have the metadata base. Metadata, it defines your data that is in the database. So this database in computing, when we were coming in as freshers, we had some IC training, and maybe in any of the computer courses you have done, they told us what a computer is about a software and an hardware. Okay, in that software, we have the system software and we have application software. So application software is a software that is known with a particular or specific applications. So an example of that application that we are dealing with is our database management system. The database management system is a computer application software that deals with the database. So each of the applications have their database, and an example is the DBMS that handles what a database is. So a DBMS is a software packages which can be used to manipulate, validate, and retrieve a database. So, and we have an example. We have students in OAU now. We have so many databases. We have students in Faculty of Admin, under which we have accounting, we have business administration, we have students in Faculty of Computer Science, under which we have cyber security, we have computer science, we have software engineering. Everybody have their own database. So a database management system, like I told us, is an application program. So please let's have that in our mind. And you can as well call it a database management system, or you refer to it as what we call DBMS. It's just a language, or it's just an application that we use in operating the database. So in database management system, we have some terms. We have terms like our primary key, like our foreign key, and all that. And the SQL is just like is a language, is a query language that we use and interact with our database. So, and we have a type of database. We have the network, hierarchical, relational, and object relational database, which we can actually do all this. As well, we have the components of a database. Number one thing, you know, a data will definitely be a component of a database. And under the data, we have the user data, metadata, application metadata. And after the data, we have hardware, we have software, and we have users that will operate that will operate the database itself. So DBMS allow users to do what? To do a data definition. So data definition, and under SQL, we have some of the terms that falls under it, which we're definitely going to touch as the slide or the class progresses. So we have the data definition, we have data update or manipulation, we have data retrieval, as well as user administration. So characteristics of a database, just we know, database should have more advantages over the earlier file system. So it is much more secured. It doesn't allow unauthorized user to your information. It is logical. It contains ACID. ACID is atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. So, and also we have advantages of a DBMS. So we have the data sharing, easily maintenance, reduce time, multiple user interface, minimize redundancy and data inconsistency, as well as simplify data access. We have multiple data views, we have data security, concurrent access to data. So you have a lot of access to your data. That's what we mean by the concurrency. And backup and recovery. So for a file system, when your file is lost, you will then have to be moving around to check, okay, where can I get photocopy of my biodata form? Where can I get a copy of my JAMB registration form and all that? But for a database, you always have a backup. So whenever you cannot lay your hands on your data, then you quickly go and get a backup. So I want to give us the first attendance code for this class. So the first attendance code for the class is, we have all in capitals, UYSY8. UYSY8. That is the first attendance code for this class. UYSY8. That's the first attendance code. U for umbrella, Y for yam, S for security, then another Y for yam. Then we have letter 8. Yes, UYSY8. Tomisin Egbaji, thank you. I've seen that. So it's UYSY8. I want to give us some few minutes to do that. First attendance, we have UYSY8. So I want to believe we are done with that. Can we move on with the class? So I continue with the class. We equally have disadvantages of a DBMS. And you know, for everything that has advantages, definitely going to be a disadvantage. And one of the disadvantages is the cost of acquiring the things that we need for this database, like for the DBMS. Cost of storing the hardware and the software, because it requires cost. You cannot compare the cost of your lab to the cost of your file that you pick up at a new market for 15 naira or so. Then the size, because the database occupies size, so you might need an external memory in some cases. Then the complexity, because it requires a technical know-how. You need somebody that is vast in that area to handle your database for you. You can just go and pick somebody from architecture that is not really conversant or know much about what a computing software is all about. Then higher impact of failure, that is also a disadvantage. Then, like I told us earlier, that just the database languages, we are still going to talk on them much later. So we have the types of database or data languages. So we have the data definition language. For some of us that know much about structure query language, or maybe your Oracle and all that, or DBase, we have create. So if you want to like create a table, you create it, or you want to add one or two things, you alter your table, you drop the table, means you want to delete, you truncate implies you want to remove some records and probably update it with another new one. Then you want to add a comment to your data dictionary, or you want to rename. Those key terms falls under the data definition language of a database. And also for the second one, we have our data manipulation language. This one deals with manipulating data. An example of the keywords that we have here is the select. You want to select students under the faculty of administration, and they are under the department of accounting. You can actually use your structured words in your database to filter students that falls under this category. Then you have your insert. Maybe you want to insert a particular data which was omitted in the first time that you are creating the database. You can as well update, you can delete records, you can merge as in bring data or together. You can call for a Java subprogram, you can explain plan, or you log a table. All these key terms are under your data manipulation language. And the last one, second to the last, is our data control language. This one acts as an access specifier to the database. So we either say we have two of the key terms there, we have your revoke or you want to grant access. Okay, before you can have access to a database, you have to be granted. You don't just go because I told it guards against unauthorized user, or you want to revoke. Maybe somebody have access to it before and you want to revoke the access from such person. Then the last one is the transactional control language. So we have the keywords or the command, those ones, that is the rollback, the commit, or the save point. All of these we can actually read through, and is being discussed in our slide. Then I have the database management system 3-tier architecture. We have the external level, conceptual level, physical level, which leads to the data store. We can see that in our diagram. So here in slide 23, we have all those 3 tiers have been talked on. We have examples attached to it so that we can have more knowledge about it. For example, for the physical level, it is the information about the location of database objects in the data store is being kept there. And also in conceptual level, data is represented in form of various database tables. So we have an example of student, that is a table, and student does what? They offer courses. So all of that we have in the conceptual, that is, it's like logical level. Then we have the external level. This one specifies the view of data in terms of conceptual level tables. So all of these, and we can use practical things happening around us as a student that offers some courses under a particular department, which is a subdivision of the faculty, and as well being a student of OAU. So all of that, we can take our time and go through it. So we have this 3-tier being represented in a logical form. We have the external schema 1 to n. So it can vary 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to any number of n that we want. Then all this information from the external goes into the conceptual schema, which is the middle. And after that goes into the internal schema. And from the internal schema, it goes into our what? Our database. So we can see conceptual level, we can see the physical level and all that. So before I move forward, can I involve the second attendance code? I've already given the first attendance code. For favor, you are asking me what is the first code. Let your colleagues relate that, but okay. The first code was UYSY8. Then the second code is BE2M. B for boy, E for elephant, 2. I made 2, like figure 2. Then we have M for mother and R for rice. BE2MR. Second attendance, we have BE2MR. B for boy, yes. Thank you, Bonifade Precious. BE2MR. And before I continue to round up the class, This is the last class for CSE 221. If you have any complaints, please try and see me in my office at Incubation Center in the Faculty of Computer Science. Ask of Dr. Sholanke if you have any issue. So far, so good. Even since we have done the test, I've not gotten any complaints so far. Please, if you have any issues, you have any complaints or whatever, try and look for me, Dr. Sholanke at Faculty of Computer Science. And I think that is all for now. So I will take the last phase of the class while we round up the class for CSE 221 2024-2025 academic session. So I move to data independence. We have physical data independence, we have conceptual data independence, and we have some phases. We could see the diagram in page 26. Also, further explanation is being provided in page 27. So I move to DBMS keys. Keys are used to uniquely identify individual records or rows of data in the table. You know, I mentioned earlier, I mentioned primary and foreign key. As a student, you must have an identification number, which is maybe your candidate's number, your matric number, your candidate JAMB registration number. And you know, this key is specifically for you, for only one person. You cannot have two persons in your department having two primary key. A primary key is a single instance of an object. So it is just for only you in a table. So we don't have repetition of primary key. Primary key is vital to you. As a staff in this OAU, I have my own primary key. Other staffs have their own unique key. As a student, you have your own primary key, your unique key that's known to only you. So if your matric number is shown in any screen in OAU that you are required to report somewhere, you know it is you. It can never be any other person. So we have as well the foreign key. We have site key, candidate key, as well as a super key. Then I move towards a desktop publishing list. A desktop implies publishing process carried out on a desk at any location using the computer. For example, a lot of us go to new markets. We go to new markets, want to print card. Maybe your fellowship has an event. Maybe your brother or you yourself want to get married or all that. You try and look for maybe A and G to help you process and design some stuff. So they actually use a kind of approach called a desktop publishing, because they design the type for you. They help you type some of your documents. They help you design maybe a magazine or a church flyer or probably a birthday pass, anything that you feel is colored and looks attractive. Or even if you were given a term paper